Dynasty Dogs live edition. Rich
Hello.
and I are here. We're going to be talking the AFC South. We're going to do another edition of the Dynasty Dog Duel, and we're going to a little bit of a
Lucky
debate.
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, for once. And we're going to be going over a little bit of Dalton Kincaid versus Sam Laporta, an argument Rich and I have gotten into this week a few times. And a bet was set up. A little bit of financial aid added to it. Rich, how you doing tonight? Let's start with that.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. I'm ready to get into our YouTube battle or our Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel that we finally found another pack. Pretty good. It's been a long week, but thank God it's over.
Yeah, really. Thank God it's over. Thank God we were able to find another pack of cards. These are Panini Contenders. This is something we have not opened on the show, but Rich has opened previously before.
Mm-hmm.
Previously before, that's a double past tense. Rich has opened these before, and Rich, you got a nice little hit out of that last time you opened it, didn't you?
Well, if you know who BJ Baylor is, maybe he was on the BC Lions practice squad last year. But I mean, it's cool still.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll see what happens with that. You want to start opening that now? Unfortunately, I don't have any soundboards for that. No Yu-Gi-Oh, because we're using a different streaming service today.
Yeah.
But
why don't you get into the pack first?
All right, hold on. Let me actually. You know what? You do that while I pull up the screen.
Okay, fine. I gotta go 2 weeks in a row.
All right. Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta do double duty here with the freaking all the buttons. Whatever, man.
Let's see.
Oh, look, we're minimized. The big Excel sheet.
Oh, I got a thick card in here. I don't know what it could be. All right. First things first.
The font in this is all over the place.
I'll let you get set up, buddy.
No, I'm not doing it right now. I'll figure that out.
Okay. Max Crosby.
It's a good card.
Ooh, CJ Stroud, if I didn't have already.
2 quarterbacks.
Oh, man. Who do you have? Do you have a George Pickens?
Oh,
no, but I might.
You sick bastard.
I know, but I need a running back in here. Let's see. Tyreek Hill. Do you have Tyreek Hill? Oh,
I do not.
This is disgusting. Kyle Pitts.
I can't believe you've done this.
Oh, look at that, dude! I got a Will Levis rookie patch card.
Oh, really? Let me take it. Ooh!
Look at that.
Pack magic.
Look at that.
Look at that. You know, when I see something like that, I say, "Look at this."
That's pretty sweet. Rookie card. Well, I got looks like the pack of just all quarterbacks. Jesus Christ, dude.
Well, you got 2 really good wide receivers in there.
CJ Stroud rookie card's pretty decent. Man, I know, but I need a goddamn friggin' running back. Do I want Kyle Pitts? Or do I want Tyreek Hill?
You got Kyle Pitts in there too?
Yeah.
No, I didn't even hear that. You already have Dalton Kincaid too. I mean, you could use.
I know. I'm just gonna have to choose blowing you out by wide receivers. I'm going tight end. I mean, I'm going Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill.
Yes, sir.
Put him in your bench spot for right now, and then obviously. Oh, you have St. Brown on your bench. Jesus Christ.
I know, dude. I have an embarrassment of riches.
Riches. All right. I will open mine now. Let's hope, now that we're live, we don't have another debacle where it takes 15 minutes for me to open it. Nope. First pick, Rip, right there. Let's go.
There you go.
Patrick Mahomes could be a good secondary quarterback for me. Baker Mayfield, another decent option, but I'm not going to be doing that. I cannot take St. Brown because you already have him. Kayvon Thibodeau, very good football player. I think the Giants' defensive line is super underrated and not talked about enough. DJ Moore, guy you and I both like. Justin Herbert.
Traded, what's his name? Leonard Williams.
Nick Bolton. And we've got a combined rookie card, which is pretty cool.
Ooh.
The Eagles rookies, former rookies, Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that is pretty sweet. So this is going to be a little bit of a tough one. It's either I take my backup quarterback and Patrick Mahomes, which you really can't go wrong with, or I go with another wide receiver. You know what? I'm going to go with my backup quarterback because you're really not going to get any better than Patrick Mahomes. You know what I mean?
No. Who do you got starting?
Josh Allen.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I really can't go wrong with either one of those guys, to be honest with you. So All right. Well, how do you
Yeah,
feel about
so,
your team going so far?
dude, I don't know if I'm ever going to get a friggin' running back, but
Yeah, because I have like
I
all the
know
really good ones right now so far.
I'm going to
Although
be
you have
stuck with
Saquon Barkley.
I'm going to be stuck with like friggin' DJ Dallas.
You know, maybe he'll come into a job, or Trey Sermon. You were a big Trey Sermon guy last year, so
Dude, he had more yards than Rashad Penny. I'm trying to see
that's
how
true.
much this card is going for on eBay.
Oh, here we go. You're already digging in.
Interesting.
You're already digging that.
Yeah, interesting.
All right, so let's go over some news. We're gonna skip the Trevor Lawrence contract because I believe you will be talking about Trevor Lawrence
At some
coming up
point
here
today.
briefly. Yeah, briefly. That leaves Tua and Jordan Love to be next to be paid. Do you
Oh
think
God,
what?
the Jordan Love getting paid is unreal.
Why?
Like,
Because it's his first
dude,
season.
because he had 5 good games. Like, I'm not saying he's bad, but Jesus Christ, if he gets paid, if he's the next, the highest paid quarterback, it's ridiculous.
Let's be real here, though. He looked better in that one season so far than Trevor Lawrence really has his entire
Yeah,
3
I
years.
mean, that's a supporting cast issue,
Yeah,
in
is it? But like,
my
I
humble opinion.
I don't necessarily disagree. Again, we're going to talk about Trevor Lawrence coming up, but like 32-11 and 4,159 yards passing for Jordan Love last year, and compared to 4,016 yards, 21 TDs to 14 interceptions for Trevor. I don't know, man. Like Trevor Lawrence hasn't even sniffed 30 touchdowns in a season yet, and he just
Yeah,
got.
but please, you got to Google how many times they dropped it in the end zone.
I've watched the video.
Like, dude,
I've
come
seen
on.
the same exact video. It's wild, but like the generational, talent, the generational talent, the number one overall pick. It's kind of hard to argue that he should be getting, better production than he has already.
Okay, let me stop you right there. When you say generational talent and it's not supposed to be on him, you claim that Bijan Robinson is generational talent, but he sucked ass last year. Now you'll respond with
No way he sucked ass last year.
you'll respond with
No,
it's the coaching, it's the
first off,
coaching.
we're talking about 1 year. We're talking about 1 year of production on a running back and 3 years of production for a quarterback
But it's
who
still
has not lived up anywhere near
it's
to
the
a generation.
terminology. It's the terminology you use.
It's a terminology. You're comparing a
Yeah.
guy of 3 years and one in
But
two different positions.
what my main point is, we're so quick to give out that title. Generational talent. Generational talent. Bijan Robinson was a generational talent before he stepped on the field. Before he did anything in the NFL.
Yeah, so was Trevor Lawrence, but like he still
okay.
hasn't
So
lived
like,
up to that.
so we can't say, wow, he hasn't lived up to it. Then in the 1 year, if he's supposed to be generational talent, neither did Bijan. He didn't live up to it. Last year
Not yet.
was not
Last
a
year, 1 year, but like
not
again, in
yet.
3 years,
Neither did Trevor Lawrence. He was hurt last year.
That's the point. Like
he was hurt.
He is so
was hurt.
again. So it's 3 years, right? And we're also talking about a guy who just got paid $55 million per year, the highest paid quarterback
So
in
if he didn't
football
get
right now.
So if he didn't get paid, it would be fine. Like the argument
No,
would be
he's
there.
still so he is a make or break player for me right now when it comes to fantasy and it comes to be honest, as a quarterback, he's pretty safe. Like he's not going to lose his job at any point, but like he has done nothing for me to say like, oh, this is the guy that the Jaguars wanted at the 101, the generational talent that everybody thought he was going to be the next Andrew Luck. Like none of that has happened for Trevor Lawrence right now. Well, let's save the Trevor Lawrence.
The number one, like, I'm going to make 2 points.
Okay.
Generational talent is handed out way too early and way too often. That's the point I'm making. 2, he was compared to Peyton Manning, who in his rookie year led the league in interceptions. So he turned it around. This year, you can clip this. Trevor Lawrence will be a top five, baby. Top 5.
You should have saved that one for your Trevor Lawrence
Don't
discussion.
worry.
But we got.
How do you know I'm talking about him?
Because I know for a fact that you'll talk about Trevor Lawrence as much as I'll talk about Dalton Kincaid. So anyway, we got 2 quick comments. AFC South, Brian Thomas Jr. Mike, just saying, brother. TJ knows I'm not the biggest Brian Thompson guy, and then we have.
We'll get into that.
Daniel coming in, yeah, exactly, supporting your cause of the team Laporta.
He must own a set of eyeballs.
Right, yeah. No projections, just eyeballs. Anyway, so let's get into the next things. Alvin Kamara skips to the last mandatory minicamp for the Saints, is holding out for contract purposes. I don't really think you want to read in too much of that. I don't think Alvin Kamara is
No.
going anywhere. I don't think.
No.
I mean, it's possible because like the Saints are in cap hell. To be honest with you,
I was so back a month and a half ago or so, before Reddick got traded, Adam Schefter was on the radio and he was saying how like you essentially couldn't hold out anymore. Like it's in the CBA that like I guess you can't do what Le'Veon Bell did. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like he's holding out for what? Like he's OTAs and then he's going to come end the season,
I guess
right?
we're gonna
Like,
have to. Yeah, because that was the last, mini camp training that they had. So I guess the next time we'll see him is their off-season workouts or whatever the hell it's called. I can't think of the word right now.
training
But
camp.
yeah. Geez, I blanked on that because I'm like reading about the Kamara situation, and it just like that team needs to start over. To be honest, the Saints really do need to start over.
Yeah, they're in like a weird like area where they traded for Derek Carr, and I was always like a proponent of Derek Carr. I thought he was good. I thought he was like kind of like a step above Kirk Cousins, where he's like
Don't
Kirk
look like
Cousins
it
is
anymore.
Mr. Safe, middle of the road. I think he's slightly better than that, and they could have kind of. You don't think so?
You don't think you think he's better than Kirk Cousins?
I think he's like slightly, not by like leaps and bounds, but like if given the same team, I think Derek Carr would do better than Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I don't know if I can agree with that, to be honest with
In
you.
my humble opinion.
Yeah, I think Kirk Cousins has been Mr. Consistent, and he's done it, a couple different locations at this point. So,
well, to be fair, the Raiders have been a dumpster fire since.
That's fair. That's fair. I did think good things for Derek Carr when he went to the Saints. I thought
I thought that was going to be like he finally got to a team where he's going to be like, all right.
Yeah, Sid from Toy Story Sid from Toy Story is not better than Kirk Cousins, but Russell Wilson saying he is being revived in every way now that he is in Pittsburgh.
Oh my God. Shut up, dude.
Yeah.
Shut up. Like, I'm so tired of him. What is it? I'm not a Steelers fan. TJ, if you can help us, what is their slogan? Because that's what Russell Wilson's going to be barking out on the TV every time. What is the equivalent of Broncos country? Let's ride. Like, what is that for Pittsburgh?
I think it's "Here We Go," isn't it?
I have no idea.
Because like I feel like that's been their hashtag is "Here We Go." I'm not sure.
Which, while we're on the Pittsburgh Steelers train here, I've got so much Pittsburgh Steelers gear. If anyone wants to buy it off me.
We can't bring Steelers up in this show anymore because that's every friggin' time that happens.
I've got like 99 vintage hats over there just waiting to be bought.
Vintage.
Yes. That's what he's gonna be doing. I can't stand Russell Wilson, dude. I can't stand him. I hope like hell Justin Fields takes a spot.
Yeah, but let's be honest, he's a much better upgrade over Kenny Pickett, even still at this point than so we'll see with Russ. Last thing I got, Roma Dunze said he's chasing all Puka Nakua's records. I don't know if he's going to hit that just because of what around him right now. Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, rookie Caleb Williams, but we both really like Roma Dunze, and if I think if anybody could do it, talent-wise, it could be him, but just the competition around him is going to be tough to get targets like that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, Puka had essentially had nothing in LA to kind of, deter him from getting all that. Whereas Adunze has, more. He's got Keenan Allen, who's a target fiend, but we'll see if he stays on the field.
Right.
But,
right. All right, you want to get into our Dalton Kincaid Laporta conversation real quick?
It should be an open and closed case.
It's not an open and closed case in any way, shape, or form. Obviously, we know Sam Laporta came out like a bat out of hell for his rookie season. He was a tight end one, something we really have never seen before, right? I think that's fair to say, a tight end performing the way Sam Laporta did, right? But I'm here to tell you that I believe Dalton Kincaid will be a better tight end than Sam Laporta, especially this year. I think for sure this year, Dalton Kincaid outscores Sam Laporta. And here's why. So Sam Laporta was 5th in targets last year. Dalton Kincaid was 8th. Now, you're going to tell me, oh, well, he's still out-targeted me, out-receptioned me, all this other stuff. With Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis gone, that leaves 241 targets available. those obviously are not all going to go to Dalton Kincaid. They're going to go to Shakir. They're going to go to Curtis Samuel.
That's assuming he has the exact same season as last year. Where's 241 coming from? Last year?
No, what I'm saying is 241 targets have been vacated with the loss of.
How do you get that number? Is what I'm asking you.
You look up the targets that both of them had. Those two target earners are no longer on the Buffalo Bills. So those targets are going to have to go somewhere. Yeah, are going to have to go somewhere else now.
Okay, so you take the targets from last year from those two guys, add them together, and that's what's missing. That's where you got 241. How the fuck do you know if they're getting the same exact targets? This is what happened.
Because you mean to tell me Josh Allen is not going to be throwing the same amount of times this year?
Oh my God, he's probably going to be throwing more, which it leads to more fucking interceptions. This is what the problem is. You goddamn pencil pushing nerds are fucking up football. Fucking analytics and a calculator. Oh, they're 241.
How is that?
Do the eyeball test. Eyeball test. Laporta looks substantially better than Kincaid last year.
How many Kincaid games did you watch? One? Maybe
fucking every one of them.
No,
every single one, dude.
No, you watched. No, you didn't.
I didn't buy a fucking fresh jersey and go up there and watch, but I was right in front of my TV screen. Oh, look at him. Look how much not better he is than Sam Laporta.
I'm telling you right now, with those targets that are now available to the whole team, it's obviously not just going to all go to Dalton Kincaid, right? He is by far the clear cut.
He's a clear cut.
Yeah. Clear cut pass catching number one on that team, right?
No, Keon Coleman, what is that? What happened to him? He break his foot or something?
Keon Coleman is – no, he's not. Keon Coleman right now is probably not even going to out-target Khalil Shakir.
What you're saying – the sentence – we'll go through your sentence. You said probably. We have no fucking idea. We have no clue.
90% of Dynasty Fantasy Football is projections.
And if you read the projections, brother, Laporta is better.
That's not a projection that's going back in time.
Oh, it's mine, buddy. It's my projection.
Why do you think Laporta is better? Because what you've seen, and again, I can't argue with what we've seen, but I'm telling you what the Bills are going to do.
I don't like to overthink things. I don't like to. Well, I do like to overthink things. Just not this. I just watch and say, "Wow, he looks like he's better. He had a better season." And I think he's not. Is he going to get better? Did he reach his ceiling?
No. I don't listen. Well, let's be fair here. Like a season like that never really happens with rookie tight ends. So do you think like that could have been Sam Laporta's ceiling? I think it's fair to say that he might have reached his peak. And that's not a bad thing.
That's insane. That isn't. It's after 1 year you're saying he reached his ceiling.
Right, but that was still the best tight end in football, statistically or fantasy-wise. He was like the best tight end in football. So it's not hard to say that, yes, he could have reached his peak, but Dalton Kincaid still has room to grow from his finish and has a better opportunity ahead of him to finish higher than Sam Laporta. Because everything you're reading out of Detroit, whether we believe it or not with the whole Jameson Williams thing and whether they're going to get him involved, those targets are going to go somewhere. Neither one of us thinks Jameson Williams is going to be very good, but the conversation is out there that they're going to get him more involved. And same with Jahmyr Gibbs, right? So it's possible he doesn't have the same season he did last year. It's very possible. But again, when you're a tight end one, like how can you be better than what he was already is what I'm saying.
Well, okay. Well, that being said, the bet was Laporta is going to be better than Kincaid. Doesn't mean he has to be number one again. He
right. Oh, no, it doesn't have to be. Yeah.
He can be number 12 as long as Kincaid's number 13.
Right. And the agreement was if any of them misses,
anyone gets hurt.
Yeah, gets hurt. But if they end up playing the same amount of games,
they have to play the same amount of games. You might as well just Venmo me now because I think he's just it's over. It's locked.
I don't think it's a lock.
Lock it up.
I don't think it's a lock anywhere. Because
why do you like him so much? Did he say hi to you or something?
No,
when you were in Buffalo, did he tussle your hair? I don't understand why you like him so much.
We shared a couple Buffalo wings together.
Yeah, you love him. For what reason? I don't know.
Because he reminds me so much of what Zach Ertz was. And Zach Ertz, I think we both agree, was a very good tight end in the league.
He was. He still is, man. We'll go watch the Commanders. He's still there.
I digress. You and I are different in opinion on this one. I think Dalton Kincaid is going to outscore Sam Laporta. You think otherwise. I gave you some facts. You're telling me what you saw.
I think it's because you traded Laporta for Kincaid.
Yeah.
And fudged a really bad trade.
You know what? I'll fucking do it again.
A.J. Brown was also in there.
Yeah,
And Mike and Mike did not receive AJ Brown.
No, I got T. Higgins and a second-round pick, which, yes. So we're going back preseason before last season. So the league season hasn't even started yet at this point when we made this
Right.
deal. So I was projecting T. Higgins to have a very good season or close to what A.J. Brown would have done. And I was projecting Dalton Kincaid to have a very good season, which, I mean, he still had a solid one. But again, when T. Higgins hopefully goes to another team or unholds out. I don't know what the hell happens there. He still could be a very good wide receiver. And I still think Dalton Kincaid's better than Laporta. So
if you even take out the tight end equation, take out Laporta and Kincaid out of that trade. You traded fucking AJ Brown for a second-round pick and T. Higgins.
At that time, it was solid. Yeah,
that's insane.
At that time, it was solid.
But you're hoping T. Higgins turns into what AJ Brown already is.
T. Higgins is only 20. He's still 24 years old.
And how old is AJ Brown? 26, 27?
So there's still time for T. Higgins to be a top, 12, 15 wide receiver.
I think you had too many Angry Orchards when you made that trade, man.
Again, that we're going back in preseason last year, and I got a guy who I still think is going to be very good in T. Higgins and a second-round pick, and we haven't had that draft yet. So who knows what I get there. So
hopefully a tight end to take over for that fucking bum-ass Kincaid. You're going to take Ben Snot, dude. Ben Snot.
With $5 is mine, and I'll, all in pennies. I'm going to throw them at you.
Oh, I'm going to deliver to you all in pennies. I'm going to mail you a dollar every single day, or like a penny every day.
You know what my sister did for my 18th birthday? Sidebar. She took $100 in dollar coins and put them in a big thing of flour, a bucket of flour, and made me dig them out.
That's fucking weird.
I was so pissed. Like, I just got shit. First of all, my mom was pissed that we got flour everywhere in the house because, like, I was digging through it to get those fucking coins.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was really annoying. All right, so let's get in our dog tags and dog house for the AFC South. Rich has the Jaguars and the Titans. I have the Colts and the Texans. Rich, let's go with this first. Who wins this division and why? This one's kind of tough at this point now.
Yeah, I think it's between the Jaguars and the Texans.
Okay.
If my guy finishes top 5, the Jaguars.
Mm-hmm.
If not, I think it's going to be the Texans. Just because I think C.J. Stroud takes a step forward. So I think it's just going to kind of be a 2-horse race.
You don't think the Colts are very good?
You're going to see guys. I mean, I don't know because I don't know what Anthony Richardson is yet.
Yeah, I mean
we've seen flashes, but he could come in and suck.
Well, let's be real here. They were a play away from getting into the playoffs last year.
Yeah, with
Gardner Minshew. So
right.
I mean, they're not fully out of it. And the Titans, I don't think they're very good, but like they put some pieces.
I think they take a step forward though.
Yeah, I do too. But like they put pieces around Will Levis, so they're going to be improved. I think this is a tough division. Compared to what we thought it was going to be last year.
Yeah, it's gotten better since last year, I think. But yeah, I think if Lawrence, gets connected with Brian Thomas, who I think is going to be huge for him, I think
you're just saying that because TJ mentioned Brian Thomas.
No, it's in my notes. In my fucking notes. No. I do. I hope it's the Jaguars too, because I'm tired of seeing them lose.
Yeah. You're really pulling for old Dougie P. I know that.
Yeah, dude, I love it. I love him.
I do love Doug Peterson too, but like it seems like since he left Philadelphia, and honestly, after that, 4th year after the Super Bowl, it was kind of like his coaching career was just pretty much mediocre at that point.
Yeah.
So we don't really know what's going to happen with him. For me, I think it's the Texans division to lose at this point, and I think it's closer with Indy and the Jags than what you say it is right now, because I think Indy has improved. I think Anthony Richardson, we hope, is an upgrade over Gardner Minshew.
What did they really even? Let me look it up. Did the Colts even? Did they get anything in free agency? Like how did they improve their team?
They had a decent draft actually with A.D. Mitchell. I forget who their first round pick was. Let me check real quick. 2024. Oh, they didn't have a first round pick, it looks like. Oh, no, yeah, they did. They took
Latu.
Yeah, who was a good defensive end from UCLA.
Yeah,
So
let's see. Where are we at here? Damn, they had it all. There we go. Latu. Oh, yeah, they took a Donnie Mitchell. They took an offensive tackle, a guard, Anthony Gold, a linebacker, a corner.
I like Anthony Gold, too, as like a backup.
Yeah.
I think they're a solid football team. Like, they have a really good offensive line.
There's no part of you that thinks, wow, we could Anthony Richardson could suck.
Oh, it absolutely, because like the injury thing. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think if Anthony Richardson is bad, it's not because he is bad. I think Shane Steichen is a. I mean, let's wait. Do you want me to just get into the Colts now since I started talking about
Go
them?
for it, brother.
So my dog tag is Anthony Richardson, obviously. Why are you rolling your eyes?
I was looking at wrestling on the TV, and then
okay.
Some guys I don't like came up, but I'm listening to Anthony Richardson also. I'm like, he didn't play, dude.
He didn't play, but he still averaged 17 points a game in those 4 games. But we're also including in that 4th game, he left early. He had 4 points, so that obviously brings the average down. Mm-hmm. But in 4 games, he was averaging 17 points per game. So, that's solid. That's solid work right there. I have Anthony Richardson in my top 10 of dynasty quarterbacks. He's number. Let me pull that up. I actually forgot to write it down. I don't know why I didn't even write it down. But he is, I'm going to say number 7. So I think very highly of him. I think that Shane Steichen is going to get him ready because obviously we knew when Anthony Richardson got drafted, he was going to be a project quarterback, right? Didn't throw a whole lot in college. Yeah, number 7 is where I have him. Didn't have a whole lot of work in college, but still was an athletic freak that is weighing 260 pounds now. I hope he loses a little bit of weight because I think that's like
that's Cam a little Newton big.
Plus. Yeah, that's Cam Newton.
That's a little chunky, buddy.
But like he just looks like a brick house. Like that dude is built, and he's built different too. So I think with this offense, with Shane Steichen. We saw Shane Steichen here in Philadelphia with the 2 years under Jalen Hurts progressively get better each year from, Jalen Hurts' rookie season when Doug was head coach. And then when, Sirianni and Steichen took over, he progressively got better those 2 years. So I definitely think that's in the realm of possibility for Anthony Richardson. He has a very consistent wide receiver in Michael Pittman. He has a very decent wide receiver in Josh Downs, who I didn't think very highly of coming into last year's draft, but had like an almost 800-yard season, and he didn't play every game. So he was a solid piece, a solid slot wide receiver who can get open in the short to intermediate part of the field. So I like that. I think Anthony Richardson is primed, to be honest, for a top 5 fantasy finish. And I'm not talking 5. I'm talking 3, 2, 1, somewhere in that range. Yeah.
Again, if he can stay healthy.
What's that?
I said, did Patrick Mahomes die or something? Or
I mean, Patrick Mahomes finished outside the top 12 last year, surprisingly enough. So
that's wild.
All things are possible. If Anthony Richardson could stay healthy, he is going to be a fucking problem in this league.
What's his ADP?
His ADP currently is 13.3. He is QB 8 off the board. So he is going at like your 2-1 area, your 112 in your startup drafts. He's going behind Caleb Williams currently, which to me, it's kind of a coin flip between the two because like Caleb is obviously the safer quarterback right now, as you would think, and Anthony Richardson's got all the upside in the world.
Right.
So I just think if he progresses as a thrower, he is going to be a problem. Obviously, at times last year he was having problems. Throwing the ball to the outside and a little bit of processing issues. But that dude was making some really nice throws at times. Right. And he still has like a top 5 offensive line and Quentin Nelson. And those dudes.
Did you see how they said his healing is doing?
So in the mandatory minicamp, he was, resting a little bit because he's still in rehab for that shoulder. So I don't think we really expected Anthony Richardson to be full go just yet. Right.
But he's ready for
that's what they say right now. He'll be ready for training camp, but we'll see. It's his shoulder that he's hurt in college too. So that is 100% concerning. There's nothing I can say against that. He needs to learn to get out. He needs to learn that, yes, he is a big dude, but there are big defensive players and there's shitty ways to fall, basically.
Yeah.
So he's got to learn to protect himself.
Yeah.
He really needs to learn to protect himself.
That's going to be his main issue. Hopefully it's not a reoccurring thing.
Mm-hmm. So my dog house for this one, this was a tough one because this offense is very exciting to me, especially with, the weapons they have, Richardson, Downs, Pittman, Jonathan Taylor. So I had to pick one, right? It's a guy I wasn't super high on coming into the draft, and that's Adonai Mitchell. Okay. And it's really not about his ADP, to be honest with you, because he's like 111.8. Like that's pretty much dart throw season at that point in startup drafts. But my issue is I just don't know where he falls in fantasy wise. You know what I mean? On that team, because you got Pittman as the primary guy. You got Jonathan Taylor, who's a stud running back, who's going to catch passes out of the backfield. And you got Josh Downs, the slot guy. So then you got Adonai Mitchell on the outside playing the opposite side of Pittman. I don't know. I just don't know if that offense is prepared to feed three people. And possibly, I've been hearing a lot about Jelani Woods in mandatory minicamp. So I don't know if they intend to get him more involved. So I just don't know where he fits in fantasy-wise, Adonai Mitchell.
Yeah, and that's going to be – God, sorry.
I just I don't know if there's enough targets to go around on a team that's going to want to run the ball with the two people that they have in Richardson and Taylor.
Yeah, and especially so my thinking is when you're describing that, number one, Adonai Mitchell has always had off-the-field issues. So
it's more on the field, to be honest. It's more of like –
his mental state. I don't want to throw that out there, but you know what I'm talking about. We talked about
work-related issues, I guess.
Right. Yeah. So if and you combine that with a guy like Anthony Richardson, who's still learning to be an NFL quarterback, is he going to be able to spread the ball like that? Or is he going to, look for his number one guy all the time, his safety blanket? He's not going to be he's not necessarily going to be able to spread the ball as evenly as a seasoned guy, whereas, a rookie's just like, oh shit, what do I do? And then, throw it to your safety blanket. Right. Whereas if he was on a team like the Eagles, say, Jalen knows how to spread the ball around. Whereas I don't know if Richardson, so that could be an issue as well.
I also think, they're going to run a lot of RPO, especially with the team that they have. And that ball needs to come out quick. And obviously we know Anthony Richardson can do that. We've seen it. But that's going to go to a guy like Josh Downs, who's going to get open very quickly. Again, this has nothing to do with the ADP. This has nothing to do with I do think there are some issues with his effort level on the field. But I'm not even mentioning that. I just don't know how he fits. Yeah. Right. Just yet. So I've stayed away from him in every single draft. I have no shares of Adonai Mitchell on any of my teams. So he's one dude I'm avoiding.
Okay.
You want to get in? You want to go Jags?
Are you dying for me to go Jags?
Yeah.
Let me pull up what I've got here. All right. So my dog tag.
Go ahead.
Is going to where'd it go? Hold on. Oh, I wrote it on the. Oh wait, I did the Titans first. That's why. See, now you got me all out of order. I got to scroll down.
Yeah. So for those listening, you need to stay on a very regimented thing for Rich because otherwise,
what the hell?
The whole system reboots for him.
My order was Titans and Jags.
Okay, go Titans.
No, all right. Now you know what? Now I'll give the people what they want. My Jacksonville Jaguars dog tag will be Travis Etienne.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm just kidding. Get the fuck out of here. Trevor fucking Lawrence, dude. Come on. He just got paid. Dude, $275, if you want to talk about it now, $275 over 5 years, $142 million guaranteed. What's that tell you?
It tells you he's pretty safe, but why the hell did he get that money?
They, like Bo Dallas, believe in Trevor Lawrence, dude. They believe in him, dude. They just went out and they got a first-round wide receiver, Brian Thomas. They've got two. What do I got here? Their offensive line sucked. We all talked about that. We talked about this before the show, so now I got to go back there. So everyone is hating on this contract because of the lack of touchdowns, and he's never done anything. He's never done anything. His whole goddamn team just drops touchdowns. They're like, oh, I'm in the end zone. Let me just drop a touchdown. My best wide receiver gets his like ball cut off or something. Whatever the hell happened to him. His offensive line was atrocious. They went out and got a new starting center. They got a new guard. So they're building within the trenches, which they need. They drafted a first round sure thing wide receiver, or
Sure
what they
thing
think.
is
They think is,
okay.
they went out and what they take him 17th overall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They went out and got a guy for him. They're like, here is your first round wide receiver. They believe in this guy. And you know what? So do I. He's going around quarterbacks like Kyler Murray, Jaden Daniels, Brock Purdy.
Wait, no, you can't do that because you like Jaden Daniels. You're just doing that to boost your thing. You love Jaden Daniels. Time out here.
Dak Prescott, fart noise. So, wait, Kyler Murray's going 23.4. Mm-hmm. Jaden Daniels, 28.7. Brock 32. And Dakota Rain Prescott, 35.9. Come on. Who are you taking out of them? You're like, oh, I need a quarterback. Oh, I need a number one quarterback. Who out of all of them is a number one quarterback?
I would take Kyler Murray over Trevor Lawrence.
You're a real scumbag piece of shit.
I would take Kyler Murray over Trevor Lawrence. You got the upside. Yeah, you can't even. You don't even know what to say.
You know who I'm taking? You know who I'm taking?
Who?
You watch Harry Potter?
No.
You never seen Harry Potter?
Go ahead. Yeah,
you know Neville Longbottom?
Yeah.
You know what his frog's name was?
What?
Trevor. I'm taking Trevor, baby. Come on.
A good Harry Potter reference never hurt anybody randomly.
And you know what? In the general population, that's why I labeled it Gen Pop going around. Chris Olave at 30, Travis Etienne 31, and Drake London. We've been waiting for Drake London to take off since the Phillies left London. Dude, we've been waiting for him forever.
A worse scenario than Trevor Lawrence has had, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Desmond Ritter's pretty solid.
Yeah, who's now the backup in Arizona. Speaking of Kyler Murray.
You're taking Kyler Murray over Trevor Lawrence? That's insane.
You know, how is that insane?
Because I think you're insane.
Oh, good. Because first of all, he offers you a different rushing upside, obviously, right?
Sure he does.
Well, yeah.
Sure.
Oh, okay. And then he has guys like, I don't know, Marvin Harrison Jr. He's got guys like Trey McBride. Like, that dude's got some
Marvin Harrison Jr. can step on the field and break his foot tomorrow. We don't know. We got Gabe Davis in Jacksonville, baby.
Oh, it's now?
Duval.
Yeah. I will say that contract was wild to me. For a guy that really hasn't done anything, he's got one playoff appearance, a playoff loss. One Pro Bowl? What did you said it yesterday? I forget what you said. Was it one Pro Bowl?
One out of three. One out of three. Just like Joe Burrow, who gets paid and breaks his arm and breaks his elbow and does this and does that.
Never thrown for over 30 touchdowns, which I do agree. He's got, not
because they dropped them all. Dude, they drop all of them. They drop them all.
I don't know.
Jesus,
man.
That's the issue. And you know what's crazy too? All this shit talking. All this shit talking on Trevor Lawrence, and no one talks about how fucking ghastly Justin Herbert is. No one talks about that. No one talks about it. He's the West Coast Trevor Lawrence, brother. The West Coast Trevor Lawrence. He's done nothing. He shits the bed in the playoff. Oh, look at you fucking Googling away. The stat wizard. There he goes. Fucking type. Like fucking Bruce Almighty. Yeah, pull him up.
I have him. It's substantially better than what Trevor
But you
Lawrence.
have to take away the injuries. Take away the injuries. But Trevor Lawrence, he was hurt. And at the end of the day, you're going to say, well, what has he done? What has he done? Justin Herbert hasn't done dick. He's done nothing.
They probably did have the worst head coach last year. And
the head coach ain't playing, brother. Head coach ain't
out there calling plays.
Head coach ain't out there dropping touchdown passes like everyone on the fucking Jaguars.
I saw like a thing yesterday or today. It was like the Chargers have had 10 losses by 3 or more in like the past 2 or 3 years, which is wild. And that's a problem. That's a coaching problem to me. That dude had to deal with probably one of the worst coaches I've ever seen last year. And his stat-wise, he's looked a lot better than Trevor Lawrence. I would take Justin Herbert over Trevor Lawrence any day of the week. I would do it with my eyes closed. I would do it with your eyes. I would do it with
well, you're also taking fucking Dalton Kincaid. So we know how your peepers aren't the best. You need to eat more carrots. That's what you need.
Go to your dog.
I'm telling you, when he finishes, dude, how sad are you going to be when it's like you say Trevor Lawrence T-E. Trevor Lawrence, QB, 1. Sam Laporta, TE, 1. And I'm just going to be like this, like the fucking Macho Man. Just spinning around like the Macho Man. Like, I fucking told you. You're doing all this pencil pushing, and I'm just like, man, just watch your game.
It's not going to happen. I could watch a game in LA and say Trevor Lawrence is better.
Okay.
Or no, that Justin Herbert is better. I screwed up there.
Yeah, see? No, clip it.
Clip
it. I know. I'm trying to figure out your thought here. Where is now I'm fucking interested to see where Herbert's ADP is.
Well, I wouldn't have that because
that's only one click away. Let's see.
I have it up already.
Beard. 18. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
18.
I would take Herbert, Murray, Daniels, and Lawrence would be a toss-up to me. I would.
Daniels, he's played 0 fucking games. Oh my god. I'm gonna come to your house and hit you with a sock full of pennies.
Get to your doghouse for the Jags.
Okay, dude. Now I'm getting down a rabbit hole. Justin Burrow.
Another
Joe Burrow's 9. What is his ADP for how many games he's played in the fucking NFL? All right, my doghouse is your guy, Tank Bigsby.
Oh well, that's.
I'd rather take fucking Clarence Bigsby. No, it was hard to pick one for this team. But I got here last season. Tank had 50 carries for an abysmal 132 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he struggled mightily.
That was sensational. It just seems to me that like he's not the guy they're thinking of. I guess their 1-2 punch is kind of ass. Like, and they drafted a guy in the 5th round, Robinson, that I guess they're on the same thinking as I am. It's like I don't know if he's exactly the guy, to be the 1-2 punch with ETN. His ADP is 206, so it's not insane.
I don't think a 5th round guy really shivers my timbers.
But I think he's going to give him a run for his money. I mean, 132. If you I'll put it in perspective for you. 132 rushing yards all season is only 132 more rushing yards than I had sitting on my couch, and that's saying something, dude. That is saying a lot.
He had probably one of the worst rookie seasons that I have ever seen. I still like Tank. I don't know what that means as a fantasy producer. I do think he could be a solid football player. I think he's much better than what he was last year.
Okay.
We'll see.
So, I got 3 guys here, and you tell me what you think of them, and I'll tell you what I think. So he's going around Khalil Herbert, who's 207, Will Shipley, who's playing here, and Jaleel McLaughlin at 212.
Well, if you listen to what's been happening with Javonte and Jalen McLaughlin, he's the second coming of
That's what I have written here. He could be.
Yeah, I don't know.
We don't know. I mean, I read that he might be fighting for number 1 spot.
Yeah, but so I think from what I understand, that was kind of taken out of context. That was just a blurb that it could be a possibility. It wasn't. It was like a suggestion. It wasn't anything that was like nailed point blank.
Right. Of course. Well, nothing is now. But I mean, it's fucking June 14th. Nothing's set in stone. But I mean, Khalil Herbert's a solid number 2 behind DeAndre Swift. I think if I don't know how to say his name. Remember the last time I said his name? Johnson. R. Johnson.
Oh, Roshan Johnson.
Roshan? Yeah. I thought it was like Roscoe or something. I can't say it. It's spelled weird.
Welcome to Philadelphia, where we can't pronounce names to save our lives.
But the guy I'm the most intrigued out of like that cluster of 4 guys is Will Shipley. I think he's got the wide open 2 spot here. I think Kenneth Gainless. He's not shored up the 1-2 punch.
No, he's
not.
I think not at this point.
think the combo of Saquon and Shipley could be intriguing. So Tank doesn't really shiver my timbers, as you just said. Doesn't really get me going.
Yeah, like
you said, around here it's like taking flyers, but like out of all that, it's like McLaughlin. If they're saying he's a second coming of Arian Foster, then
no, I made that up. I don't know if that's
I know. I'm like, he didn't play for them. Maybe Philip Lindsay.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I like Tank. I think I would still take a flyer on him at this point. I think you could get him for
Okay.
pretty cheap in trades at this point.
And anything's
And they
got to be
keep-
better than 132.
Yeah, and like Doug Peterson still speaks super highly of him. Like it's just they couldn't get him going last year for whatever reason.
Think of
Doug
it this
talks
way.
positively about everybody. I know.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
I get it. But all right, let me get into the Texans here. My dog tag for this, it might actually surprise you a little bit. It's Joe Mixon, running back for the Houston Texans. 82.4 is his ADP, running back 18, going behind guys like DeAndre Swift, which like you can't even convince me that that's a rebuild move because DeAndre Swift is like not a spring chicken anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So like I would 110% take Joe Mixon over him. He's signed in Houston until 2027. They do have an out in 26, but that's 2 years from now. You still have 2 years of him in Houston.
How old is he? He's 27 or 28?
27, I believe. I would have to double check.
Okay.
I don't know why I didn't write that down. But again, they still have him for at least 2 years signed for 3. He was a running back 6 last year. And let's be honest here. The Cincinnati Bengals have had one of the worst offensive lines for the past several years that, we could think of in football right now. This Houston Texans offensive line is pretty solid. So this is probably the best offensive line Joe Mixon has ever seen.
He's actually going to be 28. I'm sorry. He's going to be 28 the day before my birthday. Or the day after, July 24th. I agree, dude. I think the resurgence, dude, I'm a big fan of when guys change teams and there's like a breath of fresh air for them. And I think this Texans team it's definitely exciting. I think, they got something going there.
Yeah, so just, some stats of what Devin Singletary was able to do there. He had 898 yards, 4 touchdowns, 30 receptions, and 193 receiving. That's solid numbers for a guy like Devin Singletary, and I think we could see better than that with Joe Mixon in the Houston offense. He's obviously not going to face any stack boxes. Now, mind you, he didn't really face too many in Cincinnati because of guys like Chase and Higgins, but Burrow's never been really healthy, and neither one of those two have ever been really healthy. So I think that he might have some free reign to run around and make some plays. So I think he could be a very sneaky, win now piece for a team, at least for the next 1 to 2 years, maybe not much more than that.
Yeah.
This is definitely a win now piece. In Joe
yeah,
Mixon.
the wheels are going to start to fall off sooner rather
They
than
have
later.
to. They have to, because there is a lot of wear and tear on Joe Mixon. He has been a guy who's run the ball pretty heavily in his whole entire career. But again, probably going to the best offensive line situation that he's ever had. I won't say offensive situation because it's hard to go against, Chase, Higgins, Burrow. But like this is still a very, very good offense in Houston, and he could be a league winner, especially in that area. Running back 18. So
yeah, I mean that you're definitely not looking for your number one bell cow, but that's a nice find at 18.
My dog House really hurts me, to be honest, because this is a guy I've been really high on. I loved him coming out of the draft. That's Tank Dell. Another tank brought up. Another tank brought up in this. This is the most tanks we've talked about ever. So my real issue with him is Stephon Diggs, and that's it. Because you could tell me Stephon Diggs is coming to an end of his career. I get it. You could tell me that, Tank Dell was brought in because CJ Stroud wanted him. Great. Again, love Tank Dell. But you can't tell me Stephon Diggs is not going to command targets. You can't tell me that.
Of course not. Right.
It's going to happen. Like, he was targeted 160 times last year, and that's because the only reason I know that is because that was part of the vacated targets for Dalton Kincaid. So he's still commanding targets, and if anything, Tank Dell is closer to the player Stephon Diggs is, with the route running and stuff like that, than Diggs is to a Nico Collins, who's a vertical X wide receiver. So I think, in all honesty, this hurts Tank Dell more than it does anybody, the signing of Stephon Diggs. And
he kind of gets moved down the ladder.
Yeah, which sucks because, I think Tank Dell is super talented. I think he just got – that injury was so stupid. That was actually the worst call by DeMeco Ryans I've ever seen because, I think DeMeco's a super good head coach. But why is Tank Dell in goal line blocking situations? Why is he in the backfield blocking?
That's like Devontae Smith in the back blocking on a bubble screen, just getting fucking ass blasted for no reason.
But Tank Dell is even smaller than that. So I don't understand what the point of, but whatever. And to be honest, his value right now is still pretty damn high. If you go and keep trade cut, he has similar values to DK Metcalf, Zay Flowers, DJ Moore, Michael Pittman. To be honest, I'm probably taking every single one of those guys over Tank Dell right now.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I can't argue, that any of those guys should be taken behind him. You know what I mean? Just right now, because all of them are the one on their team. Yeah. And maybe Tank Dell's the two on a really good offense, which is great, but then still you're losing the targets. No matter what, he's losing targets and stuff on this. Right. And I think Nico, I couldn't really. This one took me a few hours to figure out who I wanted to choose.
A few hours?
Yeah. I literally stared at my phone like I was Eminem and 8 Mile, on the bus where he's writing in his notebook, dun, 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 dun. I couldn't decide who I wanted to pick. So I ended up going with Tank Dell. Guy I really like, just kind of in a bad situation now with, Stephon Diggs and Nico. His value's a little too inflated. The wide receiver 22. I think that's a little too high in startup drafts for me. But again, maybe this Diggs thing is over after this year. Maybe he's gone. Maybe then, I just don't feel super comfortable with him right now.
Right.
But again, it just
that's
sucks.
Fair. Yeah.
It sucks. But go ahead.
Yeah, because he had huge flashes, and then it's like the rug's pulled out from under you.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I got the Tennessee Titans.
And you're the only 10 I see.
Which do you want? What do you want first, the tag or the house?
Oh, because I know if you're asking me this, the one that's going to piss me off is your doghouse. Go with it.
Stick a fucking fork in him, dude. Stick a fork in him. He's fucking cooked.
Oh, I actually think I always thought you were going somewhere else with this, but go ahead.
No, you'll be pleasantly surprised later.
Okay.
Treylon Burks is fucking cooked, dude. He is cooked, dude.
I can agree with that.
Stick a fork in him. He's a guy who, dude, he had so much promise coming out of college to be the heir apparent to A.J. Brown. And he just...
Well, that was his downfall, to be honest.
Yeah, but he just can't stay on the field. He can't stay on the field. He's injured. He's got a bad luck of a long string of injuries, or is he injury prone? Which one is it? Is it freak injuries? Is it injury prone?
It seems like it's freak injuries to me because it's a shoulder, it's a concussion, it's a it's this, that, and the other thing. It's what was the first year? Asthma, which again, there's nothing you can do about.
Get a fucking inhaler, dude.
Yeah.
What? You have asthma. Why don't you just fucking go get an inhaler?
I can't. Shut up.
Sorry, man. It's true.
My biggest issue with Treylon Burks and the Tennessee Titans, I actually took a screenshot of it because I had a feeling you were going to talk about this, and I was having a discussion with somebody else about him a couple days ago. Let me see if I still have the screenshot. But when they drafted him, here it is. When they drafted him in college, he was primarily a slot wide receiver. We're talking his every year, 84%, 79%, 67%, a very high volume slot wide receiver. And then when he came to the NFL, the second he stepped onto an NFL field, they were lining him out wide, which in a majority of time, not a 50-50 split, not they were playing him out of position. Now, at this point, his 3 years in, it does seem like he might be cooked at this point.
Yeah, but I mean, he wasn't it the other week. His coach said he has to play special teams.
Yep.
Jesus Christ!
That's not a very good endorsement.
No.
Thing. And they got guys like DeAndre Hopkins. They got guys like Calvin Ridley. They bought in Tyler Boyd. He's just been a very consistent wide receiver throughout his career. It's his own luck and a very weird coaching staff decision with him in the beginning of his career that kind of held him back. In my opinion, that's just my opinion. I could be completely wrong because everything we heard last year, and you remember us talking about this, Treylon Burks was in the best shape of his life. He was in Tennessee every single day working his ass off. This sucks. It just it does.
He's going around guys like Devontae Walker, who's coming into Baltimore. It could be a nice young breath of fresh air.
He's fallen that far?
Yeah, he's got 215.
215 means he's coming to Philadelphia.
at _vintage215 if you want to buy any of my Pittsburgh Steelers gear. But I digress. Adam Thielen, he's going around Adam Thielen. And listen, last year I had Adam Thielen in the doghouse, and I ain't doing that again.
Yeah, you're never
The
doing that one
motherfucker
again.
said, yeah.
Bet.
He said, I'll do it again. At 217, dude, if I'm in that spot, I'm snagging the shit out of Adam Thielen.
Well, depending on the build, yeah.
Depending on, but I mean,
actually, no, he would be a good stash, just even if you're a rebuilding team, because like maybe he ends up kind of like not doing exactly what he did last year, but then he's a trade target for somebody else eventually.
Yeah, but even if he falls off a little bit, he's giving you like 14, which is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Given his age, he's like, I think he's 11 years in the league. And my guy Elijah Moore, who's at 219.
Yeah, I'm taking Burks over Moore at this point.
Moore ain't playing no special teams.
Moore ain't playing that well, playing wide receiver either. So
he's playing water boy.
I don't know. I tend to agree with you though. It sucks, but it's just we've seen nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing telling me that Treylon Burks.
No, there's nothing on the horizon. Yeah, unless he like is a great punt returner. I don't know. But that ain't getting any points.
Well, some leagues it does.
Does it?
Yeah. In Mike's league, you get punt return points.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
I would like to do that.
Speaking of punt return points, shout out to Marvin Mims, TJ, if you're still here. Marvin Mims, special teams ace.
Your boy, another one. I don't know who you like more, Marvin Mims or Dalton Kincaid. You got the jerseys of them both, dude.
Well, Marvin Mims is a signed autograph one.
Dude, who did I win? Skip Schumacher. No, Skip Schumacher. Skip Schumacher's it.
Yeah.
Dude, Schumacher.
I got Jake Butts was my other one.
I'd rather have Jake Butts and Knuckin' Futz than Dalton, or what's his name? Dallas guy. He plays for Dallas. Luke Shoemaker. Skip Schumacher's the head coach or the manager for the Miami Marlins. Used to be the shortstop for the Cardinals. That's where my brain is. But my dog tag is one William. I put mayonnaise in my coffee, Levis.
Finally, we can agree on something tonight.
Listen.
Something that you've said that we've agreed on.
In my thesis, this guy is not a guy I was high on last season, but he's growing on me. The Titans have been actively trying to rebuild around Levis, giving him some tools that he needs to succeed. In 9 games, Will threw for 1,808 yards, 8 TDs, 4 interceptions. Not too shabby. I think he certainly can build with the addition of Calvin Ridley, another guy I'm high as hell on, in the passing game. Definitely a guy I would consider as my quarterback 2. Now his ADP is at 100. What? You don't like Calvin Ridley?
Because you spent like a good 10 minutes ranting about the drops in the end zone, and 90% of them were Calvin Ridley. But
listen, he's gone now, and he learned how to catch over the offseason. He told me.
He
told me. No, I would take him as my quarterback 2. At least they're trying, dude. They're giving some kind of fucking effort. Mm-hmm. His ADP is at 100.2, so 100. He's going around Deshaun. I don't want to make any weird jokes, Watson. At 94.9. He's got Bo Nix, which I don't think. Yeah, Matt Stafford, who would be the only one I would kind of consider. Michael Penix and Aaron Rodgers. Just Matt Stafford's always been consistent for it seems like 1,000 years. And in Gen Pop, he's going around Zamir White at 99.7, Tony Pollard at B101, and Najee Harris at Q102.
Those are both Philadelphia radio stations or tri-state area radio stations. I don't know what that stuff.
It's at 102.1, which is Q102, the same exact one. But if I'm in Gen Pop and I'm trying to get a quarterback, or if I'm like, what do I take, another running back? Levis is probably the guy I go with. I think his running mate, Tony Pollard, would be the only other guy I'd consider in that area. But I think he kind of turns it around from last season. 1,800 yards is nothing to sneeze at. In 9 games. He played 9 games and threw for 1,800 yards.
Yeah. The biggest thing stat-wise for him was the completion percentage. It was like 54% or something like that.
So
which is not
low.
Great. But this is really a make or break season for him to me, even though it's his second year. They're putting all the pieces around him to be that guy. He wasn't a first-round pick, which, I mean, in reality, he would have been if Miami hadn't had the the loss of draft picks. So essentially he would have been, but they're giving him every opportunity, and
It's
he has
kind
to
of
take advantage.
yeah, and you see this like same with Trevor. You see when your team is actively trying to be like, okay, we see what happened last year. Let's try to build and make you better. That's what they're doing. That's what Jacksonville's doing. That's what Tennessee is doing. You know, they're going out and getting offensive linemen. They're going out and they're getting wide receivers. You know, they're giving you the pieces that they need of running back to replace Derrick Henry. You know, they're giving you all the tools to succeed. You just have to use the tools in the correct order.
Yeah, well, first of all, speaking of Tony Pollard, I think Tajay Spears is the better running back out of those two.
Ooh,
Come on.
I respectfully don't agree. Just because he's my
debate.
starting running back in my dynasty.
I was going to say that's a debate.
I can't have this argument, dude. You can't. I'm like, I traded for him. I'm like, oh fuck. All my running backs have broken legs.
They brought in the dude from Cincinnati, the head coach, Dave Canales. I keep getting him in the Carolina.
Is it Dave Canales?
Yeah, it's Dave Canales because it's like Callahan and Canales. I can't get it right every single time. But they brought in former Cincinnati Bengals offensive coordinator. I think that's huge. It's a guy who's worked with the guys like Joe Burrow, obviously. And I think that's huge for him.
Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I know.
This guy comes up again. It's not that I don't like him. It's just like stay on the fucking field. If you're going to sit there with your legs crossed and smoke cigars, at least stay on the motherfucking field.
Yeah.
But
I really like that pick with Will Levis. We did an episode of Toilets and Titles last week. I did have him as a make or break candidate just because of, what they've done around him and where he was drafted and stuff like that. He's not super safe, but I feel like he's got the tools around him and the ability to be a solid quarterback in the NFL. Yeah, I would absolutely 100% take him over Bo Nix, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you on that.
Would you trade a late first round pick for him?
For Will Levis?
Yeah, say 111.
No,
that's essentially where he was drafted last year.
Because I think if I'm at 111, which I'm at 112, in our draft, I'm like crossing my fingers for Drake May.
That's not happening.
Dude, it
might. Let everyone out there, Rich likes to live on a hope and a prayer when it comes to his rookie drafts. That'll never happen. If Drake May falls at 112, the league's being disbanded because this is just
there's been a couple mock drafts that I got him.
Do you have it set to 1 QB again?
No.
You sure about that?
In the rookie draft, in our rookie draft, yes.
Okay, just making sure. All right. Well, you got anything else you want to add?
No.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching. This episode will be up on Spotify tomorrow morning. So if you can,
and Apple Music,
and Apple Music, we're an Apple. Yeah, not Apple Music. We're not a band, not yet. This will be up on Apple Podcasts. We are new to the Apple Podcast game, so help us out on there. This will be again, like I said, on Spotify later today. If you guys missed most of this episode, check it out on there. And again, thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys next week.